Hi guys, welcome to our garden tour. My name is Claudia and this is my dad Owen.
Nice to have you guys today. Thought we'd just give you a little brief overview of our gardens and our landscaping. This is the front of our home, and along here we just do perennials. We have perennials. It's nice when we drive in, we see the color. So we went with some Rebecca here, and hydrangea, some coneflower, and of course, as I mentioned with the hydrangeas, I just love hydrangeas. This one's blooming kind of late this year, but they got a late start, but I think they're going to pop pretty good. Probably another 2 weeks. We should get some good action here. And again, I wanted to dress the front entrance here with the coneflower, and then along the front, we got some peonies. Of course, the peonies are out of bloom now, but just the idea is that during each time of the year, there's something that pops. Is the idea. So, and then in the front of the house, we just have some annuals around the trees, and then up the foundation planting. I always feel like it's important with the foundation planting to have some things that have some base to it, some substance to it. So we have, as you can see here, we have some spirea at the entrance. Each side we have spirea. Those will bloom 2 or 3 times a year. So what I try to do is let them bloom early, and then I'll shear them, and then if they start to come up again, they'll flush out and they'll do another bloom. So it gives me two good blooms a year, which is nice. And then the weeping cherry there in the front. So that's kind of the idea here in the front. And maybe we can swing around the back and I'll show you some things in the back. So now we're in the backyard, so we welcome you to our backyard. Over here we have just dressed the foundation backyard with some hosta, some daylilies. And I always like to put a contrast of hosta in here. So we got this hosta, and then we also have a variegated hosta, which gives a little bit of pop. This is a cool plant that we came into this year. It was an auction earlier in the year, and so we got this for like 30 bucks. And it really didn't look that good, but I fed it with some fertilizer, and we kept watering. It's a bougainvillea, that's right. And as you can see, it's really doing good. It seems like it likes the spot. The challenge for us, though, in this part of the area is it's always cold in the winter. So we're going to try to see what we can do to keep this thing living in the winter and make it live. So we'll see what happens there. So over here, this is against some of our bedrooms. So we like to have some color here, and also bring nature into the landscape. Nature is important, right? So we have a butterfly bush, so that brings some beautiful butterflies in there we've had. And then we have some different hydrangeas here. As I mentioned, I really like hydrangeas. So here I have the endless summer, so this will bloom all year. This is the lime green hydrangea, so we'll do that. Looks great. Great cuttings to bring in the house, which is good. As I mentioned, the butterfly bush, we get some really nice butterflies on this, which is pretty cool. And then I ended here with the lilac. The idea with that lilac is I want that thing to really grow big, so when we're on the deck, we don't really see our neighbors. It's going to grow up really big and block that out. So this is the balloon flower. That's the common name for it. We really like it because it's really unique as it starts to, you can see right here is a good shot. It looks like a real balloon, and then it pops. It really gives some good splash, some good color. And that's really all summer long that it does that. So we have a couple of those in here. So along here we kind of wanted to get this look of kind of being by the water. We really like the ocean, so we went with some ornamental grasses around the pool deck area. And if you swing around here, same thing we have out front. We have the coneflower. This actually, nothing was here before. We found some coneflower in the back, transplanted it. It was real small, and it seems like it likes this area right here pretty well. So that's good. And then just around the pool, we have daylilies. It's kind of nice. But what we like about that is, of course, the water is blue, and these rise above the water, and it's a nice orange. So the contrast of the orange and the blue makes for a pretty cool scene. Step over here. We have boxwood hedges that we kind of trim. We trim these about 3 times a year. Gives a nice manicured look. Over here we have our hosta. As I mentioned, we have the variegated hosta, and at nighttime we have some landscape lighting that really lights this whole area up. It's pretty nice. Another thing I really enjoy about landscaping, I really think landscaping should really have a couple key things. It should bring animals to the area, wildlife, and also you need to have water. So I think a water feature is pretty important in a landscape. So that's what we did here, is we created this water feature. Not quite done with it yet. As you can see with the waterfall area, when you create this, you don't want to see the black plastic. So we have some rocks that we have to get from a local quarry that they have. We're going to bring those rocks up, cover that up so you won't see the black. But it really creates a nice little calm area here. A lot of times we'll set chairs out here. Just the sound of the water makes a big difference, which we enjoy. And if you scan the area, again, we have our hedge here, boxwood hedge, which kind of creates a diversion between the yard and this area here, which we kind of like. As you go along here, along the pool area, It's an area that my daughter created, which is pretty cool. This little area
The
here.
little succulent garden.
Tell us about that, Claudia, if you would.
So we have a few different types of succulents here and some cacti too. And these are, I planted some assorted flower seeds around around the succulents. I thought they'd kind of be pretty and give some color and texture around it, some difference. So I thought that was cool. This succulent, this is all new growth right here. It was kind of dying and it was getting super leggy, but when we put it outside, it got all this new growth. And that's the same thing with this plant right here too. Inside, it wasn't really doing much. I think it's just a slow grower type, but it actually grew this super long flower stalk. And then here we have another cactus, all new growth on top of it. And then also this succulent here that has, it's a nice echeveria, and it has a flower stalk there that has multiple blooms on it. The blooms are kind of done blooming now, but those are really pretty. And then we have some flowers that we planted here. We have some zinnias, marigolds, and some calendulas, and I think a couple of sunflowers in there too.
And you did those by seed, Claudia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all by seed.
Good. That's always fun, as Frankie's Forest does with his greenhouse. We like to start these seeds in the winter, and before you know it, in the spring we have plants, which really works out now. Another aspect of landscaping that I really enjoy is I think a lawn is important. So landscape beds are great to have, but I think a lawn is also important to have, so you can enjoy that. So this lawn here, when we first moved to this location, the lawn didn't look so good. So we did some fertilization. I do about 4 programs during the year, pre-emergent, and then a weed and feed. And I go into a summer fert, and then I go into a fall fertilizer and then a winter fertilization. So it makes a big difference if you can feed your lawn. I would kind of like to use the example that a human likes to enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And if you go without a day with eating, it's going to stunt. It's not going to make you feel well. The lawn is the same way. It's alive, it's living, so you need to feed it. You really need to feed it. So we're going to go down here. We're going to check out the little vegetable garden that my daughter put in. All right. So before we go over the garden, as we're walking through the lawn, with the lawn, it is a challenge though. So one thing that the lawns react to, they react to heat, they react to lack of water, right? And extreme heat. So what we have going on here is, unfortunately, we have a situation in our lawn here where we have a fungus. So red thread is a big problem right now. So the only way to cure these things is a fungicide. So it's very important that when you start to see these things happen, if you get a shot of this, you'll see it in the lawn a few places, you got to get a fungicide down. So fortunately, I did catch it early. So last week I did put down the fungicide. So now I just need to wait, watch, and see the results. So now we're going to go down here and see the garden.
So this is my little vegetable garden. I have a few different types of plants here. First off, I have 4 Romanesco broccolis, and they are being eaten a little bit by some pests. I believe it's caterpillars, but I'm not sure. I have this natural and organic pesticide that I put on it, and that helped. But I think because of a lot of rain, it's making it kind of wear off and not working. So I'm probably gonna have to do that again. But so I have 4 here. There's one there. 2, 3, 4. This one is a bit smaller than the rest because this is actually planted in a pot, but then it started not doing well, so I planted it out here, and it kind of has a different colored leaves than the rest. It's kind of a more greenish color, while the rest are more of a blue. I really like that blue color that the rest of them have. And also too, with the Romanesco broccolis, they're not gonna produce the broccoli until I think late summer or early fall, so they're kind of a late bloomer. Okay, so the second type of plant that we have here is a hot pepper plant. And this I got 2 of it when it was very small, and it's in a month or so it's gotten pretty big. And then if you zoom in, you can see that it has some red hot peppers there going, different sizes, so kind of going underneath. And we also have a lot coming up here, flowers and the start of them. So those will be good. And then the last plant we have here is my eggplant. And this too was very small when we first got it, but now it's doing well, and it does have some flowers here. Yeah, so that looks like it's doing very well.
So very good. So hope you enjoyed our tour. It's nice to have you. A little bit about myself is I've been doing gardening ever since I was very young. And then through the years, we actually had my own landscaping company for about 5 years. And then we were bought out by another company. And then through the years, I became a manager on a private estate. And then I went into landscape sales. So currently I'm in landscape sales now. And so here, this is a hemlock hedge that we have in the yard. Okay, makes a diversion here. Hemlock makes a great hedge. It grows nice and tall, and it really fills in the area that very good. And an interesting thing about that too is in this hedge we have some volunteers. Like you see a maple tree that's coming up. At first I thought, well, should I get rid of those volunteers? But I think it's very important to keep those in there, because those trees, let's say the hemlocks die out and get a disease, these volunteers will really flush out and do nice. So that's the lawn. As you can see here, we do enjoy, we have a little putting green that we do on the lawn too, which really enjoy that. But hey, it was great to have Frankie's Forest visit us today, and please come back and see us, and we'll show you what else we got going on next time.